The U.S. Federal Reserve went ahead with another key interest rate freeze for the eighth straight time on Wednesday. Fed Chair Jerome Powell hinted a widely anticipated rate cut in September is on the table. Eun-jin reports.
Ending a two-day policy meeting, the U.S. Central Bank's Federal Open Market Committee kept interest rates in the 5.25 to 5.5% range. In a press conference on Wednesday, U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that the economy is moving closer to an appropriate point for a rate cut, which would be where the balance of risks are consistent with rising confidence on inflation, as well as maintaining a solid labor market. But he said the Fed has decided the economy was not at that point just yet. However, Powell also strongly suggested that if inflation continues to come into line with the central bank's 2% target, as it slowly has been, then a rate cut could be possible as early as the Fed's next meeting in September. He also reiterated that other factors like the political calendar would not play part in either near-term monetary policy deliberations or the central bank's longer-run forecasting work. Meanwhile, a South Korean professor of business economics cautioned that the rate cut in September was only suggested and is not certain. And even then, rate cuts are not expected to be dramatic as inflation isn't slowing down enough right now.
We have to remember that, inflation, the so-called personal consumption expenditure, price index, which is the core kind of target of a Federal Reserve, that is still, 2.6%, way above 2.0. And it doesn't coming down. So we have to remember that inflation has been coming down very rapidly from over 5% to 2.6% now. But the pace of downfall in inflation is very slow.
At a macroeconomic meeting on Thursday to assess the Fed's rate setting, South Korean Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok emphasized that uncertainties linger over when and how much the Fed would cut interest rate cuts, and added that the South Korean government would strengthen monitoring of the global financial market and devise contingency plans to better respond to uncertainties regarding interest rates in the United States and other nations. The Fed's latest freeze keeps the gap between the key rates of South Korea and the U.S. at up to 2 percentage points. Eun-jin, Arirang News.